You're listening to the Headlock Talkover podcast, where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling with Jack and Jeremy.
Hello and welcome to the Headlock Talkover podcast, a podcast where we like wrestling and we talk about wrestling. I am Jeremy, nicknamed TBC. He is Jack the Seer. How are you, Mr. Jack the Seer?
I'm fine.
Good.
I've got a question for you, though.
Oh, yeah?
How do you keep that shirt so clean, mate?
Isn't that good?
Right, so we crack on.
Enough quoting obscure UK TV shows. I've got some Tenable for you. Now, I must admit, sort of threw this together last minute. I was scrambling this morning, be like, what fucking Tenable category can I give you? And I was trying to think of things that were coming up in the next couple of months. Mm-hmm. And the one I've settled on, and it was a very last minute decision, because there are 12 correct answers, and I need you to give me 10 main events from Saudi Arabia pay-per-views. This is, I believe it started in 2017 or 2018. I can't tell you the first main event because the name of the event is the name of the main event. But there are 12 here.
I don't think I can give you one.
I think you can.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
I will just clarify a little bit more. This goes up to November 2024.
Right.
That was the last Saudi show.
Oh, how many Lesnar ones are there? Because he's got a habit of going on first and just fuck it up, doesn't he?
He loves that one.
First one that popped into my head was Lesnar Goldberg.
That's not happened at a Saudi show. That's happened at 2 WrestleManias and a Survivor Series.
Was it Survivor Series, the Goldberg squash?
Yeah, the 90-second match.
Oh, I thought that was at
That
Saudi.
was Survivor Series. That was pre-Saudi, I believe.
Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul.
Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul is 8th on my list of 12.
Right, okay. Goldberg Undertaker.
I knew you were going to bring that one up. It's 3rd on my list of 12.
Okay.
Because you are obsessed with that match.
It's... Don't get me started.
Exactly.
Don't get me started. Brothers of Destruction versus DX.
Number 2 on the list of 12. I think... Yeah, you've listed 2 of the 3 matches in this whole list that aren't for a title of some description.
Right. The Fiend Goldberg.
Number 5 on my list. That's 4 out of 12 you've got.
As much as I try and forget that match ever happened.
Yeah.
Just trying to go through legends, like in my head now. So they're all for belts.
Apart from one. Well, I'm saying championships. I'm not saying belts.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Okay. There's got to be another Reigns. There's got to be a few Roman Reigns matches on there. Roman Reigns versus Styles?
Didn't happen at a Saudi event. That happened, I think it's only happened once on pay-per-view. I believe that was Backlash 2016. Just after he debuted.
Still very apt for when we're recording this.
Yeah.
Because Backlash was last night.
Exactly.
Fuck, have they only fought once on pay-per-view?
I believe so. I could be wrong, but I know that match happened.
Jesus. Oh, was Roman J a main event at Saudi?
If it happened at Saudi, it wasn't a main event.
Well,
so that's you down to the final guess.
Oh, Jesus.
That's 3 of your lives gone.
That happened fast.
Yeah. I told you this was a tricky one. I'm being a bastard, but I went with it because we've got a Saudi show coming up in about 8 weeks.
Okay. Who's going to main event a Saudi show? I can't stop thinking about Legends returning, because that's what sort of the Saudi shows have become synonymous with.
I'm going to point you to what you said about Lesnar earlier, when you consider that.
Lesnar.
What did you say about Lesnar a few moments ago?
He goes on first and fucks off.
Exactly.
So you're saying he's in the main event?
No, with regards to Legends.
Oh, right, yeah. No, I'm talking like part-time, like Goldberg or... Goldberg must have done another one. I'm forgetting something, aren't I?
You'd be getting a few.
I've got visions of Strowman in one as well for some reason.
Okay.
But it's that stupid green belt that he won. I can't stop thinking about that. Or Seth. Seth must have done one. No. I'm trying to think how far back they go. Because Daniel Bryan didn't do one, did he? Or did he? No.
He was with the company
during
some of this.
I think he flat out refused to do them, if memory serves. There was that one year where loads of people refused to go, and Ziggler ended up challenging for a belt. Was it against Kofi? That can't be a main event.
I've got to let you talk yourself in circles here.
That can't be a main event. Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston. No, there's got to be another Roman Reigns one that I'm forgetting. Have I said Roman Brock?
You haven't said Roman Brock.
Roman Brock.
Number 6 on my list. I couldn't tell you the event that happened. I think it was 2019. I think. And it was for...
Universal?
I think it was for the Universal Championship.
Okay.
So you've got half of them. Half of the 10 that you need. But you're still on your last life.
Orton. Orton must have done one. Orton must have main evented one. Or Triple H. He likes to main event things. Oh, hang on. Did Shane McMahon do one? There was that best in the world thing. Who did it? Oh! He beat Ziggler, didn't he? That wasn't a main event. That can't main event, surely.
I don't remember if they worded it as a World Cup or Best in the World tournament.
I think it was just the Best in the World tournament. 'Cause it was supposed to be Miz, wasn't it? And then he hurt his ankle. No.
I told you it was a bastard.
This is really hard. I can't remember what I've said.
I'll go through the ones you have said.
Yeah.
DX versus Brothers of Destruction. Undertaker versus Goldberg. The Fiend versus Goldberg. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul.
Cena.
I'm giving you nothing. I'm giving you nothing.
I don't know what I thought was going to happen. If I just, it's not Joe Hendry, is he? Don't say his name and he just appears. Although they do have the same first name.
Yeah.
If you say it fast. What are we talking about?
This is quite something watching you unravel like this. I love it.
You know what? I can't think of anything, so I'm going to go with an old classic. John Cena versus Randy Orton.
You have listed 2 wrestlers who have never main evented a Saudi show. Never.
Fucking hell.
So, going through this, I'm going to absolutely blow your mind now because you mentioned one of them without listing it.
If you say Kofi versus Ziggler,
What was Braun's green belt for, Jack?
what was it for? The greatest Royal Rumble?
That was the first ever Saudi event. I told you. I couldn't tell you the name of the event because it was the main event.
Yeah, alright.
And for the record, Daniel Bryan was in that match.
Was he?
He was the Iron Man. Lasted like 70 minutes.
Fair enough.
I don't know if he ever went to Saudi again, but he was in that match. So we had Greatest Royal Rumble, DX versus Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker versus Goldberg you got, Seth Rollins versus The Fiend you didn't get.
You know what? It was in there. Was that
Yeah.
the Hell in a Cell match?
No, that was the one after where they kind of retconned it to actually give The Fiend the title.
Right, okay.
They specified that the match could not be stopped for any reason because they got that much backlash from the Hell in the Cell debacle. Then it was Fiend versus Goldberg. Then it was Roman versus Brock. Then it was the one I knew you were never going to get. And this was at an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. We had Bobby Lashley successfully defending the WWE Championship against Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Riddle, and Seth Rollins.
That's the match where
I think
Lesnar RKO'd
I think that was it.
Theory off the top of it.
Yeah, find him right off the top.
No chance.
Then it was Reigns versus Logan Paul. And then the four most recent, which you didn't get any of. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline. That was after Mania where
Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah. No, Roman and Solo.
Oh.
Where they were like, we're taking those belts back because Jay and Jimmy have lost them, and they still lost. And that was when Roman started to unravel on SmackDown. So some said we lost.
Zayn pinned him.
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think they pinned Solo to keep Roman strong.
I've got no idea what's going on.
Then it was Roman Reigns versus LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the two from last year, Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul.
Oh, fuck.
And then Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the Crown Jewel Championship. I told you it was a toughie.
Crown Jewel Championship.
Wasn't a belt.
No, yeah.
I had to say it was championship.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Awful.
I would not have got half of those, so I'm impressed that you did. Well done. Hopefully, some of the people at home got it as well. But that remains to be seen. Shall we talk a little bit about the news?
Yes.
Only one big bit of news, really. And that's what happened last night.
Yeah, I've not. I must admit, I've not had a chance to watch it.
I haven't either. I've seen some of the highlights. Do we want to start with that opening match?
Yeah, might as well.
Probably the biggest bit of news came out of that match.
Actually, yeah, probably go reverse order might be.
Yeah, actually, let's go reverse order. So, main event in a result that obviously shocked the world. John Cena retained the WWE Championship against Randall Keith in his hometown of St. Louis, Missouri.
I've seen the ending of this, and the way they set it up, I was sure that they were going to bring out Cena's next opponent afterwards.
It seemed that way, didn't it?
It went on for a while.
Cena was cutting that like scathing promo of like, I need competition and not this. I don't need any of you people. It was a you people kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then nothing. They just ended the show.
Who do you think is... I have a theory as to who his next opponent is. I think it's R-Truth.
Yeah.
There has to be a Cena Truth match.
I imagine it's going to be a weekly episode though, and not a pay-per-view.
And it'll be a squash, and it'll be a brutal squash.
Well,
as well.
I'm correct in thinking so. I think Money in the Bank is the next WWE pay-per-view. So, I mean, Punk will line himself up at some point.
Yeah, they still got Punk. They've got loads.
Money in the Bank is taking place in LA. I know that for a fact. So they might just throw LA Knight in there just because. Maybe the whole US title thing's done and he can go on that gravy train.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a match for Fatu coming up, but we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, definitely. Want to talk about the press conference quickly as well before we move on to the next match?
Amazing.
Incredible stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah,
John
loved it.
Cena doing the usual stuff, and then R-Truth comes out again after interfering in the match and costing Randy Orton the championship. And he starts saying that he didn't think that Cena could be like this. He was his hero. What is he doing? What was the thing he said that Cena said was over the line?
I can't remember.
Oh, I can't remember what he said now, but he said something that annoyed Cena. And
Yeah,
so he said, "Don't say another word, or there will be repercussions." That was his wording of that. And Truth couldn't help himself, couldn't keep his mouth shut, and took an AA onto the table for his troubles. Loved it.
Loved it.
Absolutely loved it. Second to last match on the card was Gunther defeating Pat McAfee, as we all knew he would. From what I understand, and I don't know why I'm surprised at this, apparently Pat McAfee put in a hell of a performance. Like, people really want to see more of him in the ring now.
He's not done that many matches, but the matches that he's done are way better than they have any right to be.
A
That
lot
match
of it,
with Adam Cole in
a lot of it was
NXT.
to do with Adam Cole back in NXT a few years ago, and
Yeah.
he really held his own.
I'm surprised it took 14 minutes.
Technical submission, so...
There was a lot of faffing. I know Michael Cole got dragged into the ring, and I thought they were going to do that thing that I want to happen, where Wade was going to come in, but Wade on commentary was going, "I'm not getting it there." And it was like, "Oh, Wade, you're like 6'10".
Something will make him, I reckon.
Like,
Something will make him not be able to keep his mouth shut any longer. Yeah, I can't stand no more kind of thing.
Just Wade Barrett, the leader of one of the most diabolical groups in WWE history, the Nexus, sat there going, "I'm not getting it there with Gunther." It's like, oh, come on. It's just... And the fact that he's a massive human being as well.
What's he got a bad case of that caused him to retire? Is it his neck?
I don't think it was.
He just had enough.
Yeah.
Get him back in the ring.
I don't think there was
Like now.
There might have been like multiple nagging injuries, but I think I've looked at this before. I don't think that there was a particular injury. I think he just had enough.
That is a shame. But they might coax him back into one more match, and it will probably be against Gunther.
I thought they were doing it when McIntyre started to snap.
Yeah.
And Wade was like holding him back. And I remember there was one line, and it was said off camera, but it was said loud enough and near a camera enough to make me think maybe that's going to be a story. McIntyre kept saying the Americans don't understand, they don't understand, and Wade was going, I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, something's happening there, but they just dropped it seems. But
It's a shame. But that could very well come full circle. We know how long a story Triple H likes to tell at the moment. So could be a long ways away, but I reckon it'll happen. This match I don't know anything about. Mysterio successfully defeated Penta to retain his Intercontinental Championship. I just know that there was Judgment Day interference, because of course there was, and Finn's still not happy with Dom after everything.
I think there was some shenanigans with Finn in there.
Yeah, but Finn still wasn't happy with Dom, and it looks like he's gonna be the one to sort of turn on Dom and turn Dom face in the process. Is that possible?
Not when he's aligned with Liv, it's not.
That's true.
I mean, I reckon there's one more face Finn run in there.
I hope so. Love a bit of face Finn.
It's so hard being a Balor fan. It really is. Over the last few years, he's been entertaining TV, but when it comes to winning matches, it's.
I can't remember the last time he won a match.
There you go.
So that says it all, really. But I think Balor has said specifically that he's pretty much just there for a paycheck now. He has no interest in moving up the card and holding titles. He's just happy where he is.
He's older than you think.
Yeah, he's mid-40s, I think.
And he's got producer, trainer written all over him.
Absolutely.
The amount of just, not just like wrestling knowledge he can bring, but like international wrestling knowledge. The amount of time he spent in New Japan going through their whole process, I think, yeah, he's a very valuable key player that they'd be wise to keep.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the road they're going down. But this storyline's got a long way to go. I've seen a lot of talk online where people are kind of sick of it, and it could go all the way to SummerSlam, which is a long, long road, but yeah, it could happen. I also could see Liv turning on Dom in the process to turn him face.
Do you not think it'd be a better face reaction if Dom turns on Liv?
Possibly, but I think they are trying to turn Dom face. I mean, the crowd at WrestleMania 41 were enough of an indicator of that.
Yeah, apparently there's been clips come out now of, you know, when Mysterio got out the ring and then got back in the ring to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
There's a referee telling him to go back into the ring.
Really
So
soak the moment in.
I think it was them on the back going, get him back in there, get him back in there.
So this could be the path we're going down. And I never thought it could happen. I thought that bridge was completely burned with the reactions he was getting. But I think people just like Dom Mysterio and are in whether he's a good guy or a bad guy.
I think he's paid his dues now because everyone thought he was Mysterio's
Just a
kid.
nepo hire, yeah.
And I think because he's proven, I think it started to turn the convict Dom.
Yeah.
When everyone was like, you know what, yeah, he is great.
He's entertaining. He makes us care whether it's good or bad.
They were after the next Latin star.
Could be.
Who would have thought it would have been the current major Latin star's seed?
That never happens.
Who saw that?
Okay, and then we'll go on to what I've heard was match of the night. And only for a one-sided perspective. Because as I've heard, Lyra Valkyria gave one of the performances of her career and has really elevated herself as a mega star on the roster, whereas Becky Lynch looked a bit rusty. And you can expect that. She's had 3 matches since she's been back.
Yeah.
In a month period, it tends to take time to get back to that point. But I mean, it's Becky Lynch. It doesn't really matter. She's such a huge name that putting Lyra over has really elevated her even further.
Yeah, so that match could have gone either way, to be honest. But because Lyra's really cooled off, I think there was a lot of support in the build up to the IC, and then I think it cooled slightly. So it's good to know that they're actually backing Lyra, because they could have just done the easy thing and gone, "Oh, we'll just put that belt on Lynch."
Yeah, and really,
it gives it some prestige.
Yeah, rather than elevating the belt, they've elevated the person holding the belt.
Yeah,
which is great.
Exactly.
And this is one of those circumstances, and we've talked about this with Damian Priest in the past, where I am so glad to have been proven wrong, because when Lyra Valkyria was called up from NXT, I thought she had future endeavour written all over her. I really thought they had nothing to go off with her, but Triple H saw something, he's ran with it, and it's worked.
Yeah.
So I'm very glad that it has worked, and we need more people from the British Isles in prominent positions in the WWE. So I'm more than happy for Lyra to be part of that as well. Shall we talk about the big news? With the opening match of the show, that being the Fatal 4-Way for the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu successfully defended against LA Knight, Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre.
It sort of came down to Knight and Fatu, didn't it?
Yeah.
Priest and McIntyre took themselves out.
Makes sense.
With a hell of a spot. Have you seen the spot?
I didn't actually see the spot.
Oh, man. South of Heaven from the top of a stand through a table.
Wow, okay.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But so those two are obviously going to carry on.
So it pretty much became a singles match at that point.
Mm-hmm.
While Fatu and Knight were getting out. Solo comes out, just as I think Jacob was on the announce table and LA Knight was getting ready to perform an elbow drop.
Yeah, no, he wasn't. That spot was never going to happen.
He was a million miles away. That was a Shane McMahon level jump.
Let us not forget that Fatu did that spot when he debuted.
Yeah, he did.
On Cody, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But
LA Knight's not pulling that off. Like, he can barely jump from the middle rope to the top rope.
what are you talking about? He jumps from the floor to the top rope all the time.
Kind of.
Yeah. And he can do it.
He gets up. He gets up, but he's not jumping 20 feet to drop an elbow through a table.
He's got a higher box jump than you or I, so we can shut our mouth.
I will shut my mouth. He's far more athletic than you and me put together.
Yeah, but Solo coming out was not alone. He was joined by the only member of the Bloodline who's not a member of the Bloodline, it seems.
He's there, Sami Zayn.
Yeah, Jeff Cobb has joined the WWE after leaving New Japan. And you want to talk about invaluable people because of their Japanese history. Jeff Cobb's quite valuable in that regard as well, I would say.
I can't believe we got Jeff Cobb in the Bloodline before Hikuleo. That's ridiculous behaviour.
Yeah, absolutely adored that. And why not? I think Solo was talking again about how he knows what he's doing, and Jacob was not happy about the situation that they needed extra help.
There was a look. And if we get Fatu versus Jeff Cobb...
Oh, my life.
I've showed you... I've followed Jeff Cobb for a long time. I think he's an absolute freak. I showed you the match that introduced me to him, didn't I?
You did.
Lucha Underground match when he was... Matanza?
Was that his name?
I think. He was the monster something. He just comes out in a mask and just absolutely ruins everybody.
That sounds like Lucha Underground to
He's ridiculous. Ridiculous athlete. I think we got him before Hikuleo because I might be wrong, but I think Hikuleo is half Jeff Cobb's age.
Yeah, he's got time.
Yeah.
Well, same with Solo. I think he's in his late 20s.
That's ridiculous.
I think Solo's in his late 20s.
Jeff Cobb's 40 something. He's in his early 40s. But he's been around a bit, and he's yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see who he goes up against.
Yeah, I find it so funny how the balance has shifted in terms of like age perspective in wrestling. Because like late 30s, early 40s is like the new peak for wrestlers. And back in like the 90s and 2000s, they'd be considered old timers and would be made fun of for being like, around that age.
Yeah, pumping your body full of drugs will age you faster. Yeah, funny that, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
weird.
Look at the people that are highly regarded on the roster. You got Finn.
Yep.
Jeff Cobb
40s.
now, 40s. Who else we got? Orton.
40s.
Orton can still go. LA Knight.
40s.
It's ridiculous. The Priest. Like that's on this card alone.
40s. Cena.
Yeah.
He might be 50s now. Styles. 40s.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they're doing stuff that people in like their 20s, 30s can't do. It's yeah.
That discipline, isn't it?
How old's Gunther?
I think he's late 30s.
Oh God, I need to see this because I need to compare it to my age
and depress yourself.
I was looking at that watch.
Oh, nice.
That was that watch that I did and shat myself over. He's the fucking same age as me.
That is one way to depress yourself. Shall we move on and talk about the unfortunate news of this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get the list up for me because I want to get this right because I don't know them all off the top of my head. But there were a bunch of releases at the beginning of last week as this episode will go out. So the list of people that we have lost. It's a lot of NXT, that's why. So from the main roster, ads everywhere. From the main roster, we lost.
I reckon go bottom.
Oh yeah, we'll go from NXT. So we have lost Danny Palmer, Javier Bernal, Oro Mensah, Wolfgang, Mark Coffey, and Joe Coffey, known as Gallus.
Gutted about that.
Yeah. Riley Osborne, Jakara Jackson, Eddie Thorpe, which is surprising. I thought they had high hopes for Eddie Thorpe because they had him as they had a whodunit, didn't they, storyline a few months back, and it was Eddie Thorpe. So I thought they were going to do something, but he's been DDP'd, I guess. Because there was a similar thing with him with the Stalker stuff, wasn't it? So
crazy.
Poor bastard. And then Cora Jade and Gigi Dolan of Toxic Attraction, or formerly known as Toxic Attraction from NXT.
Was it Toxic Attraction?
I don't know what their group was called, but they were a tag team.
Creepy Goth Girls.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, that was with Shotzi.
No, that was Toxic Attraction. That was Gigi.
Oh, JC Jane and Mandy Rose.
No.
That was Toxic Attraction.
Yes, it was.
And then there's a new one.
It was Gigi.
Tatum Paxley.
That's her name. Thank you. And Shotzi.
Shotzi, yeah. Shotzi should be on that list as well.
There was news she was going to be, but I guess not.
From what I've read, I don't think she's been released. She's been told her contract isn't being renewed.
Not being renewed, so essentially the same thing.
So they're letting her play out her contract, basically.
And then the more surprising ones from the main roster.
Sorry, before we go on, there are two names on that NXT list that I think are really surprising. Like you said, Eddie Thorpe.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar. Gigi Dolan was on NXT a lot.
Yes. Very prominent.
And it seemed like they wanted to push the Creepy Goth Girls Team Daddy Issues stable going forwards.
Well, I think Cora and Gigi both had some prominent injury troubles.
Cora we've spoke about, I think, a couple of times on the podcast.
We have.
I couldn't name you a single thing that she's done in NXT.
Ride down in a skateboard.
Yeah, other than be Roxanne's friend.
Wear a backwards cap.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, in a similar vein, she's like what's her name? Nikita Lyons.
Oh, okay.
Whereas I think there's a lot of potential there. She just seems more injury prone than.
Do you know what a big factor of Nikita Lyons' tenure is?
I could name you a couple of big factors.
No.
What?
No. I believe she has, of any NXT superstar, she's got the largest Instagram following.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that's the case, and I think that factors into it a lot because you want eyes on the product, and because she's got that big following, it helps get eyes on the product, so it's worth keeping her around.
Yeah, she just seems to be injured more than she's not.
Yeah,
and it felt that way with Cora Jade as well.
I think they said Cora was second highest, so it was surprising they let her go.
There's weird rumours as well of backstage heat and all sorts. But we're
not going to delve into that.
Yeah, they are literally just rumours.
Yeah, when we talk about wrestling. And then we'll go into the surprising ones, the 5 we've lost from the main roster. Katana Chance and Caden Carter. I really like Katana Chance.
I don't know why they're so hell-bent on keeping the women's tag belts but getting rid of all of the teams.
Yeah.
Like, what were the Witches' real thing called? The Unholy Union?
Yeah. Yeah. Get rid of half of them and then... I mean, Alba Fire's doing fantastic work, so we can't say much on what she's...
true.
What she's bringing to the table. But I liked Isla Dawn. It was a shame.
Yeah. There's no female teams, like proper female teams.
No, they're all thrown together winners, aren't they?
And now that, the next person on the list is Shayna. That was, what was her group called?
She had a few. Oh, it's the one with the
Fusion, Pure Fusion Collective.
Yes,
was that it? And now that was a team, and now it's just.
I couldn't tell you the members. I can't lie. They've appeared that infrequently on TV. I couldn't possibly tell you.
Oh, what's her name? Because there was who was in Fire and Desire with Mandy Rose?
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville. So it was Sonya Deville, and it was...
that wasn't Liv, was it? She was part of the Riot Squad.
Oh, she's tall, blonde lady. I always forget how good she is in the ring.
Oh, my mind's gone blank.
Yeah.
I remember they had those two teams at the same time.
And she had a really good showing in the Rumble.
What, this year?
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God, what's her name? She was the one who...
Wears camo and had the thing, the paint across her face.
Yeah, and she scoop slammed Otis on NXT a few months back. Is that what we're talking about?
No. You're thinking of Lash Legend.
Lash Legend, that is.
No, oh my God.
Lola Vice.
It's not Lola Vice.
Sol Ruka.
Well, this is proving my point about women's teams. I can't think of a name. And that was Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they've just got rid of Shayna completely is baffling.
She's a valuable asset to have backstage as well with her MMA background.
And she was on Bloodsport as well.
She was very recently. Well, it's perfect fit for her though, isn't it? The GCW shows like that.
She'll be back. She'll be back there.
Yeah, I'd like to think so.
I think Josh Burnett trained her in MMA as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, for sure. And then as we go up this list, it gets more and more surprising to me because Dakota Kai is next on this list. You know me, I'm a big fan of Dakota Kai.
You're a Kai-sexual, aren't you?
Yes, I'm a Kai-sexual.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be the first IC champion. I think she deserved a shot. I think she's been tag team champion a couple of times. I believe she won the NXT UK Championship, the Women's Championship, I think. But she deserves something a little higher up.
I could only name you two.
But I'm pretty sure she had it. But you pointed this out to me, she's been with the company since like 2015.
10 years.
Yeah, because she was in the first Mae Young Classic, which also had Rhea Ripley in it. So that's how long it's been.
And again, she got released in that, didn't she? I think she was one of the few that Triple H ended up bringing back.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything she's done, and it just seemed like she was out injured all the time, and it was always to me anyway. It was always Damage Control and Dakota Kai.
I think that's certainly a factor with a lot of these releases. A lot of them have just been frequently injured, and it's caused problems, and it's not worth having them on the payroll, which is unfortunate because they're all fantastic performers. But
there's loads of reports saying that she's not short of offers.
They believe, I saw a report somewhere that internally they just expect her to go to AEW because she's that good.
I hope she doesn't.
You're thinking TNA?
You know what? Yeah, I think TNA would be a great shout, and then prove herself there and say this is what you missed out on.
Mm-hmm. And then she could turn up on NXT and then
realistically the jump from TNA to WWE, especially with this working agreement, isn't too far-fetched.
No, if you stand out in TNA, you're going to get called over, I think.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're someone who isn't established in WWE previously. Like you've got Nick Nemeth and you've got the Hardy Boys over there. They might turn up on NXT every so often, but I don't think they're going to get re-signed.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got the likes of Joe Hendry and I reckon Leon Slater as well. Isn't long for TNA. They'll probably bring him over as well.
Yeah.
It's people like that, and Dakota Kai could fall into that category as well because she hasn't done a lot other than be in Damage Control. So.
And you look at the people in Damage Control, and she was never going to stand out.
No,
never going to stand out.
Not with the people she was around.
I mean, who was the original Damage Control? It was Bayley and Io.
Yeah, I think so.
You're not standing out against those two.
And then I think Kai was added after that, and then it was no, it wasn't. This happened at the I remember this was the first thing Triple H did on pay-per-view because it was the SummerSlam when he'd just taken over. It was the first match on that card. I think Bayley was champion and defended successfully, and then I think Io and Dakota joined her. In that moment, it was literally the first thing that Triple H did was bring them into that fold.
Right, okay.
And then Asuka and Kairi got added after.
I mean, yeah, you've already got Io, who's just charisma bald.
Yes.
And then you add Kairi and Asuka to it. You're not standing out in that group. I'm sorry.
It's very, very difficult to.
Yeah.
But we'll see what she does in TNA. They've got a hell of a women's division. So if she can stand out in there, then she might make her way back. Final name on this list, though. Surprising and not surprising. Purely because they brought him back and it lasted 18 months. Braun Strowman was the final release. You seem to think that it's just because he's got quite a high contract and they haven't got enough for him to justify the amount.
There's a few things going around that I've read that he does have a very high contract, and he does have mounting injuries, and with the injuries that he won't. I don't think they can justify spending that much, because he'll have to drop down to like almost part-time.
Yeah, of course. I believe Braun's in his 40s.
And I think I've read somewhere that he is really like beat up.
Yeah, a man of that size, when you hit your 40s, I think that's when the signs really start showing that you can't keep this up anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame, because Braun made Jacob Fatu.
Essentially, yeah.
And Bronson Reed.
Yep.
Before that. So he could have been used as a, like a gatekeeper type, but he's too big to be a gatekeeper.
I think that's what they were kind of planning to do. Like, he had that whole thing with the Fiend, and then before that he was pretty much Roman's whipping boy, but always made it look like it was close.
Yeah.
Like it was a close contest between them.
I tell you what, that looking at the releases and them going, there's people that we're not using. I don't have high hopes for the Wyatt 6 now.
No.
Especially with someone that was so intrinsically linked to Bray.
And yeah, this does come back to my predictions, which I said at the time I didn't want to come true, but I just thought it would, and that the 4 of the big factions in WWE would lose members, and I think 3 of them now.
No, you've still got...
I've got the Wyatt 6 to go.
And
Final Testament's done, and then one of the 2 Latino factions, but I think they might have already done that.
No, it's not being used, are they? On TV?
We'll have to see.
I don't know.
But yeah.
But yeah, Braun's a shame, but realistically there wasn't much more he could do.
No, he made Jacob look like an absolute monster on the way out, which I think all they could really ask of him.
Yeah.
Make the next star, because Jacob is the next star.
Yeah, it would have been good to have maybe a little bit of a send-off. Send-off is the wrong word, but maybe have someone squash him and completely take him out. Like, if you're going to do it.
Like the Ricochet thing.
Yeah. Like, do it properly. Maybe even... I mean, that could have been Breaker.
Well, that might have been what they did with Jacob, because once those matches were over, that's when we stopped seeing him.
Yeah,
maybe
true.
Theoretically, Jacob is the reason that he's gone. So they have kind of done that, but it's not in the traditional sense. It's not like really obvious. It's just, he's lost and we're just never going to see him again.
I mean, they could have done that with Braun.
Yeah, that would have been
Breaker. Yeah, they're both called Braun, kind of. Yeah, like. I mean, you know how they get people over now. You just spam your finisher over and over again. He could have done about 10 spears on Strowman. Breaker looks like an absolute beast.
More so.
Yeah, Strowman quietly waddles off into the sunset. I don't know, the swamp, wherever he's going. I don't know.
Swamp.
Yeah.
Let's not look back on that fucking swamp.
Oh, it happened.
Yeah.
No, stop thinking about it.
Yeah, don't think about that. Don't think about the event. That's 2 Michelin Web quotes we've got in this episode now. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because there's nothing major apart from Backlash and the releases that I wanted to talk about this week.
Aleister Black is already doing better on the main roster than he did in his previous run. And it's due to kicking Miz in the face.
Yes, I've already seen question marks there, because he cut a promo on SmackDown and it was more of the same of the problems that he had last time.
We'll let it play out.
Yeah, we've got to let that play out. But at the same time, it was the same Wyatt-esque promo where he's not quite as good and captivating as Wyatt is on the mic.
Yeah, he's not really, is he?
No.
It's
he's good as I think a silent assassin.
Do you reckon it's a language thing?
No, I don't think so, because his English is almost undetectable as like an accent.
I mean, he's Dutch, so I know that's the closest language to English that you can possibly get. But there's something, the way he speaks, I don't know if it's the words that he chooses or I can't put my finger on it, but it is a bit like, God, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
but I think
not
that's-
like oh, that's really weird. It's like, oh, that's weird.
No, I think that leans into the gimmick because he's cryptic and cerebral. That's his character.
As long as they keep him away from the Wyatts and they keep him away from Cross.
Oh, I wouldn't mind him working with Cross. I think that would be an interesting dynamic. Wyatt's 6, I'm with you. But I think Black and Cross would be a great match and a great pairing in terms of them trying to one-up each other in like a cat and mouse kind of situation.
Or team. They could be called Black Cross.
Yeah, or that. One final thing, actually, we'll talk about Karrion Kross, because he's just managed to leapfrog a bunch of people in the pecking order in the space of like a week, because he's been like there on TV the last few months, but no one's really paid attention, no one's really cared. He cut a promo on Raw, and his t-shirt is the best-selling t-shirt on the website. Out of nowhere.
He's doing some weird stuff. Like that thing at Mania where he just started calling AJ Styles Alan.
Yep.
What are you doing?
He's breaking him down.
Yeah.
By calling him by his actual name.
Break the illusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Break the spell.
Yeah, don't break the spell. That's 3. That's 3.
That post-Mania promo that he did.
Amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. I think it was partly ruined by Scarlett because she's not very emotive with her face.
That's not what she's there for.
Can't think why.
That's
but
not what she's there for.
She started telling him to calm down and calling him Kevin. I don't know if you clocked that.
Again, breaking down the walls.
She was like, Kevin, stop. Which made me like, I've never looked at Karrion Kross's real name. Is it Kevin?
I don't know. I've never looked at it up either.
Should we look at it right now?
Yeah. Kevin Kross.
I bet it is.
Kevin Karrion.
I bet it is Kross. Oh, God.
Kevin
Kessler.
Kaiser?
Okay.
Yeah.
God, he's handsome, isn't he? God. Oh, my God. What are we talking about?
I don't know.
We're done talking.
Yeah, I think we are. Bottom line is, Karrion Kross is doing fantastic work at the moment, and his merch shows have proved it, and it's a fucking cool t-shirt.
It's the one with the puppets,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I think it's called the Pulling the Strings t-shirt. It's very, very cool. What are you looking at PFC for?
Zoe Stark.
Oh, of course. You said tall.
She is tall.
No, she is not.
Is she not?
Not really.
I thought she was tall.
No, not compared to like Lash Legend, Rhea Ripley, and all that lot. And Ivy Nile. She ain't tall.
Ivy Nile?
I think Ivy Nile's quite tall. Am I thinking because she's really short?
She's well short.
Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Chris Statlander. Why not?
Camille.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Exactly. Shall we wrap this up before we just ramble ourselves into oblivion?
Please.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching or listening to the Headlock Talkover podcast. Give us a like, a comment, a subscribe. Rate us on Spotify. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to discuss, particularly any Tenable categories you'd like us to do to annoy the hell out of each other. We'd love that.
Great.
Until next time.
Bye.